Hey, thanks for downloading. Our guest today was Tyler Menz. He is a comedian from Milwaukee who has toured with Todd Barry, performed with Jim Norton, and performed all over the country. Recently at Flyover Festival in St. Louis. He has his own podcast called Eating It, which I would recommend. I've been on it, so that's a good sign. This podcast is going to be about reality television, watching reality with people who maybe have not seen it before, and having a few laughs along the way. There's a weird edit at about the minute and a half mark, but the rest of it should be pretty smooth. We had to cut around some things like noisy children. So, thanks. Okay, hello, and welcome to Reality. I am Ryan Mason, a comedian. I'm here with my wife, Nicole.
Hello.
And my friend, fellow comedian, Tyler Menz.
Hey, what's up?
Tyler is somebody that I enjoy working with, and somebody that we do a lot of shows together.
Yep.
Produces one of my favorite shows in the world.
Thanks, pal.
Voyager, here in Milwaukee.
You're essentially a producer of that show, too.
I know, but I like to belittle myself. So this podcast is going to be about forcing people to watch reality shows so that my wife has somebody to talk to. That's the main point here.
Yeah.
But really, as somebody who is more of a reluctant fan of reality, it's nice to have a tiebreaker. So that's what you're here to do basically today,
Cool.
Tyler. And we forced you to watch an episode of one of your favorite shows,
It
Nicole?
is probably my favorite reality show right now.
Okay, so Vanderpump Rules is the name of the show, and the episode that we are going to talk about today is Vanderpump Rules Season 7, Episode 3, and the name of the episode is Either Him or Me, which I would say is a terrible name for an episode.
Well, I will say that I don't know what that refers to. In
Yeah,
regards to
I know.
this
Watch the whole
episode.
thing, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Oh, really? I think I know what it
You think you know
refers
what it
to.
means?
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, maybe it's more built for you.
Maybe not. I don't know, because...
You probably watched with like the kind of intention that you're supposed to, because we asked you to be on this podcast.
Yeah,
And I watched these
100%.
episodes like looking at my phone and then like peeking up and being like, who are these people and why
Yeah.
are they doing this?
Yeah, no, I watched with a notebook in front of me.
Good.
Which was... So, I guess a little context for you guys. I don't watch a lot of TV. My idea of reality television is like Antiques Roadshow and like cooking television. I don't watch it a lot.
Right, you're an
like,
old woman.
PBS is what I yeah. British Bake Off.
Do you watch
That's
British Antiques Road?
Oh no.
Oh, you
No.
got to dip into British
Oh,
Antiques
it's
Road.
they
It's the
also
best.
give you the like pounds to dollars, so you
Oh,
you're,
cool.
you're
That's fun.
totally
Oh.
on
So you can do
board.
the
It's
math
great.
in your head.
Yeah. It's
So
great.
my favorite of the like PBS style reality, like British style television reality shows is one I just found. It's on Netflix. It's called Lords and Ladles.
Oh.
And
Ooh,
they
that
take
sounds
3
good.
Irish chefs and they send them to an ancient manor in rural Ireland and have them recreate historical meals.
10 out of 10 would watch.
Yeah, I would watch that.
It's super good. So like that's like my brand of
Not to get too off base, but have
Yeah.
you ever seen the what was that one we watched that was like peasants? They were,
Privy
like,
Diver? What was
No,
that?
no,
The
no.
Privy Diver?
Privy
No,
Diver?
that-
You know what a Privy Diver is?
That was
they
this
like
old,
dive in the toilet.
Yeah, there's like a
That was
hobby
this-
of people
this
where
old
they
house.
dive into like what are called privies. Oh, it was an episode of This Old
Yeah.
House where a guy was diving into toilets to find like people's watches that they dropped
Wow.
in toilets in like famous.
literally they were
houses.
like, we found it.
And that's what this podcast is going to be about.
Privy
No.
Diver. Welcome to Privy Diver.
No, so we're going to talk about the episodes in question. We're going to talk about Vanderpump Rules. And the most important thing is that at the end, we're going to kind of talk about what a person who is approaching this as an outsider thinks of reality television. So I guess without further ado, Nicole, you are going to be the one who's going to recap for us.
Okay, so I'm going to give a very basic recap. So what you didn't see, what we started at was Katie making fun of James' shorts, and he really reacted poorly to that, which I would love to tell you is there's like a lot more context to that, except that like James is just sort of a hothead, which basically resulted in everybody hating James, James and Jax fighting, an accusation or a confession, whichever you want to take it as, of James cheating on his girlfriend. It's not the first time. So that was kind of the overall, and then we got to birthday parties, and we can get into that a little bit later. But the first and foremost was Pride and James kind of losing his shit over it.
So there was like that big party scene that was going on. What was your first impression of like that scene? Did that seem like a place you would want to hang out, Tyler?
No, that's like that gave me that gave me anxiety watching that.
Yeah.
Like just any sort of gathering with glitter is not I'm not on board with that. And there were like people with glitter on their face. So
is that like just like you'll feel not made up for the event, or you're like, because like if I see somebody wearing glitter, I'm not going to be like, well, I'm out on this.
No, yeah.
But you're saying that like it's an event where like you really it has a costume aspect to it.
Oh no, I think it's just like something like that. I looked at it and I was like, oh, that's not for me. Like that's not.
You're a simple man.
A straight white guy. I like a cold high life. You know. That's
okay.
Not a,
fair.
Yeah, not my cup of tea. But like that's fine. But
it's like their thing. Like let them have that.
Also, like I don't like noisy bars.
Yeah, that's true.
So I like
a noisy place.
Quiet place to hang out.
I just want to give a little context that it is LA Pride or Hollywood Pride.
For people,
my race is reflective. Okay, that's
yeah. So Tyler looks like if you took like an old timey photo of like a Civil War like guy, and then you like just put a new Gap sweatshirt on him. Basically, like you just shaved him and put a Gap sweatshirt.
Yep, that's me. Yeah,
that's what Tyler looks like. So like the idea of him showing up at Pride is just like, why is Dad here? You know what I mean? So
sure.
I get it. I think like. For me, the part that I was like, this seems unfun or not necessary. And I wrote down that, like, they're making Pride seem not fun. And it was because of the amount of drama that they were bringing to Pride. Because, like, usually Pride is supposed to be this celebration of, like, the best aspects of a community. It's like when you go to, like, I don't want to compare it to, Polish Fest. But, like,
okay, that's a very different.
With less sausage.
Are any of them gay?
In that group? I'm
group?
not in that scene that we're talking about. I think in that scene, no. But there are people that would be on like the LGBTQ spectrum within the show that you probably didn't know.
There's a trans woman who works there who's on the show. I know that this, I'm sort of cramming this in, but I really do want to discuss that, like, one of my favorite moments of that whole scene was when James literally said, I'm all for equality, but that whore can go fuck herself.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it really, like, that's why I watch this show. Like, that is a moment that I just, it just makes my day.
You're in favor of that?
No, he's a horrible monster.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not in favor of it.
So when she says James, you know who she's talking about.
Yeah, so he's the effeminate British guy, right?
Sure, yeah.
Sure. Yeah.
And he's not gay?
Oh, why don't you explain that, Nicole?
Great question.
That was I wrote that down. I was like, this guy. First of all, he's impossibly thin.
Oh,
he's too thin to be straight.
Okay, no. That that might be too thin to like be not.
How do I
like maybe doing cocaine?
No, don't know.
He was definitely doing cocaine.
No, you guys can no.
There was a scene.
We're gonna say all this is alleged.
Yeah,
right?
we cannot just.
Right, but there was a scene at one point where he rubbed his nose. I was like, I think he's doing cocaine.
I think that his performance might suggest there's some enhancements there.
Right, so you're saying allegedly doing cocaine, right, Tyler?
Allegedly. Listen, I never saw him do cocaine. I'm just assuming.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
But like, let me just say this: if you did cocaine, do you think you'd be like cooler?
I've never done cocaine, and I can't imagine it making me cooler. All right.
I'll agree with that. Yeah.
Okay, we're all uncomfortable. We're all moving on.
I'm not uncomfortable. We can talk about it.
Oh man.
So he's not gay.
So there was a storyline last season where his best friend, who is a gay man, suggested that they had done
Hooked
some,
Okay.
whatever. I don't know what level it was. There also was a weird situation where he like they really just threw in this old guy who was living with James for a little bit. That was suggestive of like a sugar daddy situation.
Oh,
But
wow.
and then I believe Lala nope, might have been Katie. Nope, I
That
lied.
probably makes a huge
Kristen.
difference for you.
Kristen,
Mhm.
we'll go into this later. Kristen used to date him. She suggested that perhaps he had dipped his toes in that situation, but he
Now,
did,
just a question.
denies
Is
it.
it your toes that you use?
you don't. I mean, who knows?
For dipping.
Whatever you're into. Whatever
But
you're
you
into.
should say you should say you're not saying
I'm not saying
your
that that's
negativity doesn't come
no.
from him being gay.
No, not at all.
Okay,
And I do want to point out that, like, for your context, Kate, like the woman that he was belittling, Katie, had literally nothing to do with what he was angry about.
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah. So, the context is that Brittany, who's dating Jax,
Yes, the one from Kentucky.
right?
Yes.
That adorable, lovely,
I bet you liked her.
perfect woman.
Yeah, I did really.
Oh,
like her.
she's beautiful and lovely and perfect. So Jax had cheated on her last season,
Okay.
and she went to one of his DJ shows and was like supporting him. And in the context of that show, he basically called out the fact that Jax had cheated on her, embarrassed her in front of everybody.
Like as a DJ or just like
He was DJing at Sir, the restaurant that they
but
work
like was
at.
he DJing while he called that out?
Yeah,
Or
he
was-
did like a freestyle rap, which is
Oh,
I should tell you,
really?
he refers to himself as the White Kanye.
Is that true?
Yes.
Well, that I don't like that either.
I
I
feel
don't
like
know.
that's
I don't have anything for that.
I don't know about that.
So, in the context of him being White Kanye, he called out Brittany, who was there just to support him, and she got very embarrassed and cried. And so, Kristen, in a attempt to defend her friend's honor, brought a woman to Sir to say, by the way, we bone zoned, and then embarrassed his girlfriend. So that was the context of it. And then he yelled at Katie, who had nothing to do with it.
Okay, so that's the first 3 minutes of the show.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We haven't. Yeah. I mean,
You
I
need
know
to-
it's.
you
You
need
know
to
what?
plow.
You're,
We're just
you're
dipping
welcome.
our toes in.
You're welcome. You are
Yeah.
so welcome.
Okay, so give us context of some of the next scenes.
Okay. So, oh boy. So from there, we moved on to James and Raquel talking, and that's his girlfriend.
That's when he rubbed his nose.
Yeah. So like you first saw that guy and you're like, he's wearing a hat like totally the way that you don't wear
well,
a
to
hat.
be fair, they were dressed in. It was an '80s theme. So
and
just
like
to
me,
fair.
it was like pride in
I don't know why I'm
And
being.
people do cocaine in the 80s.
Yeah, in the 80s.
I
Okay.
don't know why I'm being fair to James.
So like
By
aesthetically,
the way,
Aesthetically.
just to be fair.
it makes a lot
It
of
was a
sense.
prop. It was a
Yeah.
prop.
To me, it's like if somebody filmed me at like Summerfest, which is a huge music festival here, or somebody filmed me at like a concert. I can imagine me not coming off well, but at the same time, like I also can't imagine being that far afield from like who I really am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I can't imagine doing coke and calling somebody fat, allegedly doing coke.
Yeah, you guys. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's move. Can we move?
Yeah, go
forward,
on.
Yeah.
Or do you have questions?
No.
Are we good? So we kind of move on to like the next morning for everybody. So like
Yes.
Katie and Tom are waking up, and Tom has a weird.
Moo one?
Yeah, he really had. Let's just stop for a second. I know I don't want to like touch Schwartz.
Okay. He has that like
He
long
was hungover or
shirt
whatever,
Yeah.
but he stood up and he was wearing a nightgown, and it really, I mean, it was a shocking moment for me.
on.
I
When he
like,
was wearing the long
well,
shirt.
they had the whole conversation, and he was like, "I'm hungover," and she was like, "I love you," and whatever, and then he stood up and he was wearing that nightgown. It was really a shocking moment.
Like
for
an
me.
Ebenezer Scrooge.
Yes, very much so. I mean, it was like a
when he was looking
yes.
down, I thought it was just a shirt, and I was
Of
like,
course,
"That's just
yes,
cool."
as everybody did.
You
I
should
don't
have had
know.
a long hat.
I mean, I simply thought he was wearing a
A shirt.
flannel,
Yeah.
What did you think
and
of that?
boy.
I won't pass judgment on that.
I like as a
I've slept
person from Wisconsin, I can't be like, well, this LA guy's style. I
I've
don't
definitely
know.
gotten hot and just taken off my sweatpants and slept in that like a
Yeah.
t-shirt.
And
But
then
that
what if
was
that
not it-
T-shirt went
no.
down to your ankles?
But of course, everyone has been. But that is not. No, that is a.
It was like
I
a
feel
Yeah, you're right, like an
that is-
Ebenezer
That is a
Scrooge.
nightgown.
Yeah, it was like a fitted shirt.
And
like,
here's the
too.
problem I have with that. I know that nightgowns exist, and I know that women wear them, and some men, Ebenezer Scrooge, for example.
Dick Van Dyke, I feel
Dick
like
Van Dyke,
maybe wore one.
Grandpa George from
Grandpa George.
yes, but it gets all
Three
bunched,
style
It gets all bunched. It gets all bunched up when you sleep. It's like a weird. I don't know. Anyway, that's not. Where
That
we're
seems
leaving.
like that's on you.
We just gonna tuck that right into your underwear.
Yeah, if you get that, if you get
Yeah,
it,
and just pull it out the
Yeah,
bottom.
then it doesn't
if
get
you
bunched
get it,
up.
if you get it, if you get your nightgown like situated in your blanket situation,
No,
like,
I
and then
don't-
when you get up, it's like you're wearing a blanket. Like that's okay. I think
Yeah,
that's okay.
like a snuggie, like
Yeah.
a fitted snuggie.
Sure. I mean,
I don't know.
sure. Anyway, so then James and Raquel are like building a table or something. I don't know, and like I feel like
Oh yeah.
on the show, and I know this won't like do anything for any of you, but I feel like there's a lot of scenes of people building furniture and like I know that they all live in those apartments and they're probably building IKEA furniture constantly, but like
Is that what people in LA do? This podcast is really about people from the Midwest
Yeah.
guessing what people in LA do.
You know what bugged me most about that scene
Yeah.
is that the dog bit her. And I was like, fucking control your dog. I'm a dog owner. And like,
Yeah.
if
Well,
my dog
and-
bit
and-
me, I would act a little differently.
So I don't want to digress because neither of you will know what I'm talking about. But James's living situation has always been a little bit of a mystery to me. Like, so as I mentioned before, he had this roommate, and it seemed like they maybe lived in a one-bedroom, like a one-room apartment
Oh,
that had like just like a
loft?
Like a divider?
like a divider.
Like a Chinese paper wall.
Yes, absolutely, exactly that. And
like,
then
like a breeze would knock it over?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
and
Like
then
a foot soldier would kick through it in the dead of night.
yeah, absolutely. And then he
Just a dagger and
Yeah,
tear
one
down.
dagger like down from the
I'm
ceiling.
sorry,
oh
go ahead.
gosh, no. I mean, sure. And then
The imagery is really real for her. She was still an orphan and trained to be a silent killer.
I don't know. The point is that like what he lives in is very concerning to me. I don't know how much they make being on the show.
Yeah, that's kind of a
Possibly.
question.
I don't know. Who cares? It doesn't
That was
matter.
something I was wondering about too.
Well,
They've got to make they've got to make a living being
so
on the
I've heard
show.
and by I've heard I mean like I don't know, some random Facebook person posted in a Bravo group that I'm in that they don't make that much, and then they said they did make that much, and they maybe film in.
Wow, this sounds like hard news. This sounds like really.
Oh no, I'm like deep.
Do you
in the
think
deep
that's a
web.
union show? Do you think that
Do they have SAG cards? Like, do you think they carry? Or are they? See, that's the thing that I don't know. Somebody can probably tell us that. Tweet at me at QW Gooding Jr. Tell me how much you make, Jax.
Well, I mean, is there? This is so dumb, but like, is there some sort of like modeling union? Like, if you model, do you have a union?
I don't know. I
It
mean,
could be.
you're asking like two people who
Are
should
definitely
absolutely not-
models,
yeah,
like
should-
absolutely.
have. You know,
Okay, well let's. I mean,
Comedians
no
don't have
experience
we
in
don't
that
need to
area.
discuss. My point. The point is that like we had the the hangover situation, and then Peter calls and uninvites James to his birthday
Yes.
party.
Okay, which seemed very forced and very planned.
Okay, so Peter he's like a server.
He's
He's like a manager.
manager.
He's the guy with like the shirt that was
Yes,
buttoned,
yes,
but-
I wrote
longer-
down about
the
his shirt
longer
as well.
hair.
A lot of this show is just shirts that you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
His shirt was very fitted, but like he's a fit guy, so he wears that like really fitted shirt. And I think I wrote down
Okay, so-
Peter's shirt. Oh my god! I think that's what I wrote.
So this has been a feature on the show prior, not like on I don't know, probably first season or something, but like the women wear these like handkerchiefs
Yeah.
for dresses,
Sure.
like as they're serving.
Yeah.
And because I don't have a life, I deep dived into this, and apparently in LA, again, this is very much just us being like, what's going on in LA? But apparently,
Right.
like you can, if you call people like performers, you can like who are serving for you, you can be like, oh, this person has to be good looking.
Oh well, that's
Oh,
terrible.
really?
Yeah.
I
Don't they do that in Chicago though, with like places like the Tilted Kilt or like?
Sure, yes.
Oh, really?
It's
There's
all-
like a French place called
Hooters.
Hooters,
Yeah.
I think it's called.
Well, Brittany was like a Hooters Girl of the Year or something. Like,
Which one's Brittany?
the cute.
The Southern
Kentucky
Belle.
lady.
Okay, yeah, she's my favorite. So
Oh, of course. I mean, without a doubt. Okay, so it doesn't matter.
Keep going.
Moving on. So then we had that, then we got to the point where Peter was serving Lisa and her friend Teddy, and I just want to let you know, and I don't know if they said this on the show, but did they tell you that that's Teddy Mellencamp?
Yes.
Okay.
So it said Mellencamp, and I assumed.
Yes, so she is on Real Housewives
so
of
wait,
Beverly Hills.
before you do that, you mentioned Lisa.
Vanderpump.
So which is Lisa Vanderpump?
Yes.
That's who the show is named after.
Yes.
Did you understand that?
Yes, I did.
Okay, so Lisa
mean,
Vanderpump
he's
is
not-
sort of like Willy Wonka for the show.
I did like a minimal amount of research. where I
Okay,
was
so
like,
you
okay.
actually looked into that. Man, you are
So
good.
really quick before we move on, I just want you to just tell me what you think about Lisa, and then once you tell me what you think about Lisa, tell me what you think about Ken, her husband.
So Ken wasn't on.
Oh,
He
was
was.
making an appearance.
He walked down the street with her when she had her Maybe did he not have any
I don't
speaking?
think
Did he not have a
didn't
speaking
speak,
role?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm a Ken apologist to the end of the world. I just want to let that be known.
Let him. So
Continue.
what's your take?
What's
Give
your
us your
take
take
on
on
Lisa?
Lisa Vanderpump.
I know she's been on Real Housewives.
Yes.
So I assume she's a little bit like high maintenance, like highfalutin type
Sure.
of.
Yeah.
Sure.
Fair.
And she okay. So during the Pride thing, she seemed to like want to control things, but didn't want
Right.
to have anything to do with controlling things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, she's
'Cause,
like,
like,
you
it's
go
her
take care of
business.
James. I don't want to deal with this.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So like those are her bars, and I'm gonna cut you off. I'm gonna explain to it. This is man to man.
Okay.
Right here.
Mhm.
Nicole wants to say so much because she wants to like throw her body in front of anything that like might be construed as like negative towards Lisa Vanderpump. But like you're right. She has this business, and these people work at her business. And if you had, let's say, a hot dog stand, you wouldn't hire any of these people, right? And she has like $1 million business, so like
Yeah.
maybe like multi millions, right? She has several restaurants in LA, but yeah, her stance during Pride is just like, I'm here to have fun, I'm here to have a good time, I'm going to carry a dog in a purse.
I do need to interrupt because that's not her stance. She's not just there to have fun. She's like
overseeing
she's
operations.
Sure.
But also,
Yeah,
like
an ambassador, yeah.
she is a producer of this show, so like we have to keep that in mind. So she's running a business, but she also like these crazy people have to continue to be crazy so they can run this show.
She's the puppet master.
Yes, and God bless her. You know, God bless her.
No,
Yeah.
like if you
I
believe
wish I was
if you
kidding.
believe that she is orchestrating this operation and these people's behavior to manufacture the reality show that is Vanderpump Rules, then she's a genius.
Yeah.
Because there's no way that you'd be able to do that without like some sort of almost overarching skill and directorial like view, right?
I think she's clearly a very smart like business person.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think
Yeah.
she's a really smart business person, and these people that are on the show have gotten to the point where like their behavior is a spectacle in itself, and they've lived in it so long that like it's sort of self-fulfilling. That's
Yep.
my take on it. But I think you as in Nicole, think that this is maybe more like Lisa driven. Like do you think she gives them pointers?
Yes, ish. I mean, if you've watched the show, she very much. I mean, I think that and again, you guys don't watch Real Housewives, but she thrives in the like. And yeah, I said that.
No,
with,
I do not.
do
I
not.
said it. I said it with disdain, and I stand by it. She very much thrives in the like puppet master, like motherish role.
Yeah, she sees herself as a mother.
Like she's their mother.
She's made
Mother.
Like in the
But she very much struggles to be like the villain, which I think is why this is a better fit for her, because she can kind of like be the Jax, get your shit together, and like James, you got.
But there's not like real consequence.
But in the sense, everybody is just like they respect her and whatever. And
she's like, oh, Tom, that shirt's so long. You know what I mean?
Nothing like a long shirt.
It's like too long. The shirt is so long.
I would wear it.
I would too. Now that I think about it, I'm
100%.
just like in LA, that's like a floor length coat.
I mean, come on.
Also in LA, you don't need a nightgown.
You don't really need a nightgown.
Okay. Okay, I am going to interrupt you guys talking about
Long shirts.
long shirts.
I call them long shirts because it kind of takes the stigma out of night shirts or nightgowns.
And move on. I mean, we had Carter and Peter's birthday, and it was fine. Like I don't know.
Who's Carter?
Carter's Kristen's boyfriend. Peter is the tight shirt guy.
Yeah,
got that.
Kristen is the one who brought the woman in. Kristen, I love Kristen.
Got that.
I don't know. The biggest thing about that was like Stassi and Ariana are friends, and that means nothing to you.
Okay, explain who Stassi is to Tyler.
Stassi.
Tyler, do you know who Stassi is?
Do you remember who Stassi was on the show?
No.
Stassi was. What did she do this episode? She wasn't much in this episode.
Wait, let's break it down. So Stassi.
Okay, Stassi was kind of like.
Wait, hold on. Let me say this first.
She blonde?
Yeah.
Yes. Is she blonde?
I think I know who that is.
Okay.
I mean, know that.
One of the two blondes.
One of the 200
There's
blondes.
the two blondes.
So
that
the
are
two
like
blondes
good
were
friends.
like, "Can you believe that
Yeah.
we're friends and we're gonna have a birthday party together?"
Right.
Long-haired blonde, not short-haired blonde.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so the reason I cut you off is like start at the beginning with Stassi. What would be the first thing that people would find her like important for?
This Amazing Race.
This Amazing Race,
The
right?
Amazing Race.
She was on the
Amazing
Race.
Race.
Oh, okay.
On the season where they had families. She was on with her family.
Yes.
Nobody
And
knows
she
that.
killed her family. No, I'm kidding.
No. So she was
Cool.
kind of like the queen bee of the first season.
Yeah.
And
She was like really important early on.
she
in
dated
the show.
Jax.
Okay.
Who appeared as a bartender on this episode.
Yeah.
He knows who Jax is. Okay.
Okay, by the way, Jack seems like the most normal of those
This
guys.
is what I think as well. I agree with you 100% on this.
At least the most like guy. Like he's just
Okay.
Like you could have a
every
beer
man.
with
Again,
him.
I
Yeah.
will go into
I agree with this.
I will
I've seen
go
a lot
into
of this
later.
show, and like as I watch it, I'll ride or die with some of the people on the show, and knowing what I know about Jax, that she can explain to you why
Well,
Jax
I'll
might
go
not be
into it
what you
later.
think he is.
Uh-huh.
No, I mean he's
But the way he comes across,
Just like an everyman.
yeah, is like this guy seems like a guy I could hang out with.
Yeah.
okay. I will go into this later. I'll go into it with you later. But Jax has done some fucked up shit, but like I very much love him. Like I think he's
Yeah, he
just like,
seems like-
he's good TV. He knows what he's doing. He's fun to watch. Brittany is a delight. There's nothing.
His current girlfriend,
his-
yeah.
the-
We all have a friend like that.
Fiancé.
Everybody has a friend like that,
Fiancé,
right?
thank you.
Like everybody has a friend where you're just
Yeah.
like, God
He
love
keeps
him.
messing up, but like we all love him. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah, I can name our
so
friend.
speaking
Yeah.
of
His name's Gary.
Yeah, it's Gary.
We'll have
So-
Gary on a later episode.
Oh.
Oh, I can't wait to force Gary
I
to
can't
watch
wait to
reality
listen to
television.
that.
That'd be great.
So speaking of him, let's move on.
Stassi, right? That's where.
Oh yeah, we were talking about. That's fine. We'll move on. But like speaking of Jax and Brittany, they're going to make a beer cheese company.
Okay.
Which this was, I mean, the first I've heard of it. Like, and I follow this stuff on Instagram, on Twitter. I mean, they've kept this.
Reddit.
They've.
So at this point in the episode was one of my biggest gripes.
Right. We live in Wisconsin. You were
It
born
was
in
upsetting.
St. Louis or something like
But
that.
I've lived here long enough where like she's like
You've outgrown
we're
your
gonna
bad
go
cheesesteaks.
to an artisanal cheese shop and get cheddar.
Right, yeah. It was
Yes,
so bizarre.
That was upsetting.
I was just like, what? And then they sat down to eat it, and they each had like a bite-sized piece of cheddar in front of them.
Right.
They put it on a cracker, and they took the.
Can I tell you though? I'm sorry to interrupt you. I'm very appalled.
You have to
Go
let
ahead.
him
No,
describe
go.
cheese.
I'm sorry, but like the cheese plate that they showed was like not the stuff you'd make beer
Beer
cheese out
cheese.
of.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
No,
Okay,
beer cheese is
that's
like
it. That's
Wait,
It's
let
like-
him describe what beer
Please
cheese
go on.
is.
that's like pimento with a little bit, like melted pimento with like a little beer in it, like just like a sauce almost.
Mhm.
Is that kind of what it is? And it's
Yeah.
not like you wouldn't use like funky cheeses in that. You would use like that's typically like a cheap
cheddar.
cheddar,
Yeah, sharp
and, like,
cheddar.
cream cheese, and just
Yeah.
like you
Not
know,
like aged Stilton.
Gruyere or whatever.
Not to
Yeah,
mention
yeah,
like I like no shots fired, but like an LA cheese shop. Like I'm from Wisconsin. Like you're not getting super good cheese out there, are they?
well,
Are they getting really good cheese?
they're the cheese capital. They produce more cheese
Whatever.
than
If
most
you
states.
believe the
But it's
hype.
not as good.
If you believe the hype.
It's not as good. Happy cows.
What we're saying is like I would go to that
Kiss
cheese
my
shop and
ass.
get in a fight. I'll
Yeah.
get in a fight.
But-
Oh
like-
yeah.
Jax is from Michigan originally.
I got that vibe from him.
You love Jax.
No, he's very Michigan though. He's like you can tell he's
Yeah.
from the Midwest.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and she's from Kentucky, and they're. I mean, but like, is that a cheese? Are either of those places cheese places?
I don't know. What do you think of like? Yeah, I guess Michigan probably has
Also,
cheese.
what did she say? Mama, Mama,
Mayma.
Mayma. Okay. Mayma.
And side note, I tell my mom all the time that we're gonna call her Mima, and she fucking hates it.
for her grandchild, yeah.
We're gonna call Mima.
Mima and Peepaw.
Peepaw.
Yeah. Well,
she
like
hates
either way, like the cheese scene seemed unsettling, but I also would say that Brittany seemed endearing in her approach to it.
Yeah.
Like she did some planning, she put some things together. She is starting a business. That's cool.
She's
and
genuinely excited about it.
yeah, and she's
And we
naming
can
it
all
after
agree
somebody
there's-
she loves.
There's honestly nothing. Like, there's not a single thing wrong with Brittany.
Right. She didn't
love
make
her.
any
Yeah,
ill
no,
steps in
yeah.
that
Yeah.
whole thing.
Okay, but
And then
now,
Jax came in and was like,
but
okay,
here's-
whatever, get
this
your
is
cheese
the-
thing out of the
This
way.
is the important thing I wanted to bring up. So there was a moment in that scene where they started talking about James,
Mm-hmm.
and they said, Jack said something to the effect of like, I feel bad for Raquel
She looks
because
so stupid.
she looks stupid, and who would want to date someone that everyone hates? Now, I just want to just like tell you, off the top of my head, the things that Jax has done on this show,
Okay.
and I want to say that Brittany did look uncomfortable when he said that, but
Wait,
things that
hold on.
Jax has
Before
done
you
on
do
this
this,
show.
okay. I want you to give me like a one-word response, like an okay, that's fine, or
Every
whatever.
time I
like,
say
yes.
something?
Okay.
Okay.
Just to give people perspective on what you're
Okay.
feeling, because I can read your face, but I need people to know how you're
It's true.
feeling. Like I
With a
know.
very readable face. That's true.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Jax in the early seasons was dating Stassi. He cheated on Stassi with a woman he slept with in Las Vegas, got her pregnant, and apparently paid for her abortion.
Oh.
You might have to have more pauses.
Okay.
Wow.
Sorry, I'll
okay.
pause more.
Good.
In the earlier seasons, Kristen and Tom Sandoval were dating, who is Jax's best friend. He slept with Kristen while she was dating Sandoval while he was in the apartment in another room.
Whoa. That's shady.
That would be like
Fuck.
that's like you and I are friends. I can't even. First of all, like if we were
Excuse
sleeping
me.
in the same room, I'd be like, well, I gotta keep it down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I wouldn't be like, I better try not to, have sex with this.
I believe it. Also, I
That's
believe it was
crazy.
I believe it was on a couch. Like, so
Okay,
they were
yeah.
out in the open,
Oh,
and
Jesus.
Stassi had.
Are you just saying that because
Stassi-
you don't like to think about having sex on a couch?
No, I'm
You're
just
like a
saying
bad
like
person.
I'm just saying like there was no. They didn't hide it.
Okay, but think about this. Think about if you're trying.
Also, I want to just
Wait,
say
wait,
really
no,
quick,
hold on.
really quick. Stassi had just broken up with Jax, and Kristen is Stassi's best friend. So, Stassi's best friend slept with Jax, who
Yeah. No, I've
she
got
was
it all.
dating her best
Yeah.
friend, his best friend.
I think we've established that like maybe he's not the best guy. But you
Oh,
really
hold on.
ruined the joke that I was going to
I'm
make
sorry.
about like
Oh,
pulling up a nightshirt from your ankles to reveal your undercarriage.
Oh yeah, that's the move.
But like worth it for you to cut me off to reveal some other terrible thing about Jax.
What else did he do?
Moving on. There was an episode or a season where after he broke up with Stassi, he was dating some rando lady who's not really on the show, but she was a person who worked in Vegas. She set them up with a VIP weekend in Vegas because she was like a promoter or something in Vegas. And while he was there, he cheated on her in the suite that she set him up with.
That seems fair though. Like I'll give him that one. Like I dated you long enough to get the free suite.
After the first 2 or 3 things, that seems to be expected.
Okay.
Yeah, like that. She knew. She
Fair.
knew what the deal was.
Fair.
That one's on you, Las Vegas lady.
He tried to cheat on Brittany with Lala, and when Lala was like hard pass, he tried to throw her under the bus, and then Lala was like, "Hey, you tried to cheat on your girlfriend with me," and he turned everyone on Lala.
I'd have to see context. I'd have to see
Yeah.
like what that was. Was that all on camera? Or was it off camera?
Back a little bit of both.
All right, I'd have to see context on that one.
Okay, last season.
What kind of cheese were they eating?
Last season.
How long were their shirts?
Was it Baby Swiss? Sorry.
Nope, you're fine. Last season, he cheated on Brittany with a woman called Faith. Faith was on very, very briefly. She is now on MTV shows. Apparently, she was taking care of a elderly woman who was infirm, and they bone zoned while she was taking care of that woman. Faith then recorded them having sex and then sent it to Lala.
Was the infirm woman in the room?
Unclear. Possibly different rooms.
Was that the instance in which his current girlfriend's Brittany?
Yes.
Yes.
That was the instance
She-
with James
she-
pointed out.
She mentions like at one point at the cheese shop, like, "Oh yeah, you cheated on me, but you were honest about it."
Yes.
That's what. Okay.
Yes.
Did she say that at the cheese shop?
It was in regards because that's what James.
Yeah, they were talking about.
That's
Oh,
when
okay.
James.
I
When
missed
James.
like you did this, but you were honest.
When
about
James White Kanye.
Is
her.
that all you have to do? Like if you were like, honey, I just want like you went home to your wife, you're
Oh,
like,
fuck
honey,
no.
I just want to let you
it.
know.
My wife would
No.
chop me into pieces.
No.
Yeah.
This was last season. You guys missed the whole last season.
So you just have to wait a season.
Yeah. That's.
Hold on, follow-up question for Tyler. I need Tyler answers. You've given us a lot of backstory about
I have one
Jack,
more.
so I want to ask Tyler and have him
Is
talk.
the last one the worst?
No. It's like very little compared to what else.
So,
He stole
like-
some sunglasses in Hawaii and got.
So like you're in a
Massive.
situation where there's like somebody you're really attracted to, and you're like it may not be like above board in terms of in the Lord's eyes or whatever. Like so,
What is that?
like would you like
The only eyes that matter.
if there's like another person in the room, could you get it done? Would be my
To
question.
be fair, I don't know that the old lady was in the room. She
What do you
may have been
mean?
in a
Could you
separate
get it
room.
done?
Could you seal the deal?
If I was with my wife?
No,
Or,
like
Oh, come on.
Now, hold on.
Oh, boy.
imagine for a second. that,
Okay, just
like
hypothetically.
hypothetical, okay? That you're not
No.
married and
The answer's no.
okay,
I could not.
okay. Like if there's another person or they're sleeping, they're
No.
they're in an iron lung.
No.
Like what if they're in like an iron lung? Like you can hear in the background. It's like. Could you get it done? Because you're like they can't.
No.
It's like boy in a bubble like type of thing. Like could you do
They
it
were like
then?
catatonic?
Yeah.
No, probably not still.
No, still no. Okay. Wow, you are such a good person. It's
Yeah,
amazing.
I'm a really good person.
Okay, so like it's a friend's dorm room and like all of their stuffed animals are on their bed still.
What?
What?
Could you still?
That's overly specific.
What happened?
Yeah,
I
what
don't know,
happened to
just-
you?
I'm just gonna say.
Okay, I just want to move on because we're getting to it, and the last thing is girls' night. And
Okay.
Oh, by the way,
please go.
I had a question.
Yes.
So during girls' night, there's also like guys' night,
Yes.
and they like do some grilling. And at one
Yes.
point, there's
Yes, this is great.
there's a flashback scene to
Okay.
someone putting a steak in their ass.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
Oh man.
So it's Tom Schwartz, and he is talking about a moment when he was repaying basically a favor of the other two individuals who were there,
Sandoval and Jax.
Sandoval and Jax, and what he was doing was putting a steak between his butt cheeks and then cooking it for them. To which I would have been like, well,
I honestly, I
It's
feel
cooked.
a little upset that I don't remember what the original thing was, but
the
there
original
was
sin.
there
of
there
the
was
steak,
an original
butt
thing
steak
where
was.
somehow a
Butt
butt got
steak.
involved, and then he was asking them to stand up for his wedding and gave them steaks, and once they ate it, he showed them pictures of having put those
Steaks in their
steaks in
butt.
his butt. And I really would. I am
I
embarrassed.
don't remember.
I'm
what that
embarrassed to say I
Look
don't
it up on
remember
your
what the
phone.
original thing was.
That was
I can't
bizarre.
look. I mean, I
like,
cannot look that up.
seeing that.
Like, what was the original sin? But yeah, I
Though
don't know.
they were making Juicy Lucy hamburgers, and I love a Juicy
What's a
Lucy.
juicy?
That's
Lucy?
like a Minnesota,
It's a Minnesota
thing,
thing. They put cheese in the middle of the burger, and then they grill it, and the cheese becomes molten. It's like the cheese is inside the burger. It's very good.
Oh well, I will. Sandoval for sure, and possibly Schwartz. I don't know. Are from St. Louis, so they're
Okay.
They
That's
are
why
a
I don't like
Midwest
them.
folk.
Westerners. Good
Yeah.
men, St. Louis. Boom, St. Louis.
Anyway, but
Oh, you're wearing your
one thing-
flyover like
The one
right
thing I
now.
wanted to say about girls' night that was very
I hope you bought two.
distracting to me was that
T-shirt.
they were really wearing like evening gowns.
They were
The men?
No,
they were
right.
they were.
I don't know, I
dressed
don't
in
remember.
tees. Yeah,
The women.
yeah, they were like.
And no shade. I mean, when you have a girls' night, if you want to get dressed up or whatever, but they just seemed to be going to like a random bar in evening gowns, and that was very distracting to me.
The one in the red had clearly had a thong on underneath her dress. Like
don't
she had
know.
like a
I don't
sheer
know.
dress on, and you could see.
Oh yeah, I believe that was Ariana who had a sheer dress. on.
Right.
And then when you
Like,
were
could see
watching
her
this,
butt
did
cheeks,
you
And I was like, what?
did you call the police like when you saw that? Tyler the Red, did you
911.
describe that? You're like, hello,
Oh,
911.
we got a fire
Alright,
going on.
I saw a woman's, I don't have to say it to you, but it was her B-U-T-T, okay. I'll hang up now and take my comments off the air, because I can't hear you
Good
describe
day, good day,
Like,
officer.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they were super dressed up.
Yeah.
And I just I think about like April, my wife, and she's
course.
like very much like if she's going out with girlfriends, she's like, I'm wearing a like baggy
Full evening gown.
sweatshirt. No, she's like, I'm wearing a baggy sweatshirt
Yeah.
and these
Yeah.
loosest fitting jeans because I'm
From
really
Cudahy?
comfortable.
Oh, that,
yeah, from
okay.
Cudahy. Yeah. No, yeah.
No, like, so,
Factory town, baby.
like, do you
Yeah,
think
but-
that's a difference, though, between LA and...
We have a
and,
toilet paper factory in my town, so.
and so, like, to give context, if
Yeah.
you're not from Wisconsin and you're listening to this, or maybe you're from Wisconsin and, like, you haven't heard of Cudahy, good for you, first of all. So Tyler's
Not
from a
possible.
town called Cudahy that's known, number one, for
Being white trashy.
pig parts, right? Like
Yeah.
ham and bacon.
Oh yeah, Smithfield.
Some guy named Patrick Cudahy put a stake in the ground and said, we're gonna kill a ton of pigs here.
Yep.
And so, like, your house smells like bacon, like, pretty much most of the time.
Yeah.
So, like, I
50% of the
can't
time.
imagine, though, going to the bar and then seeing a person wearing that type of evening wear. But at the
Yeah.
same time, LA, like, Hollywood is their pig parts,
Yep.
you know what I mean? So, like, those women, maybe getting dressed up is a part of the deal, you know what I mean?
I know. I definitely think like there are times where you go out with women and you get dressed up or whatever, but like it was just the level of dressed up
Yeah.
versus what was in the background.
Yeah.
Like you know,
Okay.
I watch Real Housewives, and you know like Beverly Hills, they're in the same zone.
First of all,
like,
great Weezer song.
Where I wanna be.
Lisa Vanderpump is on that show too. So like yes, they get dressed up, but like it was just a contrast of like what they were wearing versus the people in the background.
Yeah.
It was very. I mean, like, granted, like if I was in
Over
the
the
background,
top.
I'd been like, all
Right.
right, let's like, I'm just gonna take all the pictures I can.
But these people who are on this show are essentially like wait staff who are elevated to the level of like a really popular television show.
But I will say this though, like I think that wait staff.
I don't mean that in
certain
like
places,
a belittling like
No,
way.
I'm
just
saying,
mean,
like, I think
it's
waitsta-
a lot different than
but I
being
think
on
wait
TV.
staff in certain places do make a good-ish living. Like,
Do you also think though that they get wardrobe?
Ooh, that's a great question.
ooh, good question. I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't know why.
But you might find sponsorship availability.
In that scene specifically, I had the inclination, like, I bet they do wardrobe.
No, they
So
don't have
I
a
don't-
wardrobe department
I
on
don't
that show.
know. Like, I will say this. I know for, like, Bravo shows.
They have a long shirt department. That's it. They have a long shirt budget, and that's the thing. The
Oh,
long
man.
shirt budget. If it was a regular shirt budget, it'd be fine. But those shirts are so long.
I know for
So
regular Bravo shows, the interview looks
Yes.
are provided, or like the makeup and stuff is provided by Bravo,
Yeah.
but everything else is you're on your own.
Okay.
So I would assume it's the same on Vanderpump. I don't.
So was that the last scene of the show? Okay, now that we've recapped the episode, we're gonna go over questions that we have, and we're gonna start with Tyler.
Okay, so I had a few. Okay. So so James is the DJ, right?
Yeah.
And so during the first scene during Pride, he's not DJing, and that like confused me. Like, if that's his job, why isn't?
Okay, so he is DJing during Pride.
He
It's
is?
just they don't film him DJing because I think he might be awful at DJing. That's possible. But they did film a section of him
Yeah.
DJing while he's at Pride.
Okay.
But it's not
There's
like
a scene with him with a microphone, but not.
right.
So James has been fired at least once before, if not maybe twice. He has to like prove himself to Lisa, like so like they like bring him in and he's
Him
got
DJing isn't good television.
he's got a lot of bravado. So like when he says I'm the DJ at this place, he's saying like I kind of DJ here once in a while, but
Okay.
he's the white Kanye.
Yeah, I don't know what that means. I don't know what that
I
means.
don't know either.
He's
That's what he
like
says.
Ryan to Milwaukee Comedy, James to
Yes, when I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
like-
me, number one, white Kanye. I'm the white Kanye, Milwaukee
No,
Comedy.
the truth of it is, it appears.
People are
as
like,
if-
yes, he always seems like he's off his meds. Yes, that's true. And they're like, his t-shirts are super long, first of all.
Weird shoes.
Super weird shoes. That's me. God, I love Kanye. And I hate James.
No, I just didn't understand why he wasn't DJing.
So there was like a
He
quick
was at
section
some
of him,
point.
Yeah.
DJing, but it was just like a bunch of people in the bar who were like excited to be on TV, and that was about
It's
it.
kind of like I think, and I don't know this for sure, and this is purely me making this up, but I think what it is that like they put him on for like a few minutes in the beginning and to like because people come and want to see him because he's on TV and but like they know he's not a good DJ, so like
That's it. Yeah.
yeah.
So I feel like the whole DJ thing that's just an excuse to have him in the TV show. Like
Right.
a restaurant doesn't need a DJ, right?
I
Like
mean,
a permanent DJ.
I mean, you're saying that about James, and that's fine. I mean, you're just gonna just throw James Kennedy under
Yeah.
the bus. But
That might be a
No,
Midwestern
no,
thing
you're right.
too. Like
Could
you're
be,
like
it
a
could
restaurant
be.
doesn't need a DJ, but I mean,
Well, we got the radio.
what if we asked a person
We
from like
have the
Hollywood? I don't
Oh,
know.
I got a DJ for you. It's 99.
I just played like the nowhere's towns of Wisconsin and
the
like
mix.
like yeah,
I mean,
they don't need
I
DJ.
think it truly is like he shows up. I've heard this.
Although I will say this, I was in the Wisconsin Dells with Mike O'Keefe, and we were there in this tiny bar, and all of a sudden this like old guy put on a headset and opened a laptop, and we're like, I think he's the DJ.
Oh shit.
And then like all these like bachelorette parties walked in, and we're like, he's gonna set it off.
Oh,
You know what I mean? So we're like, oh,
I
that's
feel
what it
like
is.
polka bands were like the original Midwestern DJs.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And like you like as like a
Hoop-de-doo.
dorky guy
A
would
lot
have
of
been like.
hoop-de-doo. You guys know hoop-de-doo?
That's a little too
No,
much
I do
hoop-de-doo.
not.
Hoop-de-doo. Okay.
Okay,
All
so
right,
my
let's move
question.
on.
I have a question
Yep,
for
yep.
Tyler.
Okay. I had other questions.
Oh, go for
Please.
it. Go for it.
Please.
Okay, cool. So the talking head segments where they're sitting alone, they always have
Sure.
a drink next to them.
Yeah.
Does that play significance in the television show? That like the specific drink. They all have a different drink. I noticed that.
No, I think it's just like
Okay,
set
it's just
dressing.
okay. It looks like casual.
Yeah.
Okay, then.
I mean, sometimes they drink it every once in a while, but like not really.
Gotcha. So, I guess my last question is like a
Please.
big overarching question is like, what is the appeal of the show? Like,
That's my question too.
Yes,
That is my question as
Because
well.
I watched it and I was like, this isn't something I would watch normally.
Okay.
That's a question for Nicole.
That's who I'm asking.
All right. So this is a standard question that Ryan and I talk about a lot about like what do I like about this show, and
This gets to what this podcast is supposed to be about.
right. So first and foremost, I think that
By the way, no judgments.
no, I
At
mean
all.
please, I mean don't care if there are.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you
Doesn't
that.
care about
Totally.
your opinion.
Why would you? I have
Yeah.
I have coupons for garage door repair in
Yeah.
my notebook.
Oh my gosh.
Perfect.
Wow. I mean, so what I usually tell you, Ryan, is I always joke that it's like Tennessee Williams, right? It's just like a slice of life. It's just I don't know. It's so hard to explain. Like, I think there is very little in this world that is aimed specifically towards women, and that you see women in interesting roles. And I think that like Bravo shows really highlight women and highlight
Powerful woman.
powerful women
Yeah.
and
Right.
highlight things that are funny or silly or goofy to women. And I'm sure there's an argument against this that like, oh well, it makes women look petty. But it also makes men look petty, and that's fine. And I just think it's like a genre that is like very focused on women, and I
Okay.
like that, and I
That's
think that's
fair.
funny,
Cool.
and
Yeah.
I like seeing interesting people. I like seeing weird people. I like seeing.
I will say
All of that.
the camera is focused on a different part of society that I don't generally see, which is probably why I find it interesting. So like when Nicole's like, I don't watch a lot of scripted television or reality television in my daily life. I only watch sports, pretty much, and that's just me bragging about how masculine I am. No, but like when I
Yeah,
get
your
home,
dick
like
is
I
on the
literally
floor right
only watch sports. So like when Nicole's like, I'm like, what do you want to watch? And she's like, I want to watch Bravo. I'm like, sure, because it's a group of people that I don't have much eye on. So like I do appreciate it for like the camera is fixed on something that I would never see. It's almost like peeking
Yeah.
under the circus tent in
Yeah.
a way of speaking.
Okay.
Like so like to me like that is the appeal to me. And then like the people that I like I say I ride or die with, the people that I feel that kinship with, the way that you felt about Jax in this show,
Yeah.
I think is a reason that when you watched it probably a second time, you were probably like, you know what, Jax, I'm with you. And the
Yeah.
second time you watched it, did you feel like you were like more riding with Jax?
A little bit. I felt that the first time through though. I was
So
like,
that
this guy
like,
seems like I would have a beer with him.
exactly that kinship is I think like the understanding that maybe you're getting.
And I think truly, like, not to get too like serious about this because it's not serious, and it's just like that's the fun of it. But there is a thing where it's like there's like, you know, a lot of television is made that doesn't take women into account. So like sitting there and being like, would I be like the friendship between Kristen, Stassi, and Katie is like something where I'm just like, yeah, that is what being friends is. Like sometimes your friends are assholes, and sometimes they fuck up, and sometimes they like fuck your boyfriend or whatever, and like they shouldn't do that.
They
Like,
should not.
They should not do that. But like, you know, like that, like it is a ride or die situation, and like, and then also like sometimes you just want to like, you know, slap a bitch, you know.
Okay, well that's
Anyway.
for that language. Okay, my last question for Tyler. I want you to guess the ages of the people on the show.
Do you want to say names?
Yep,
along
I'll
there?
say some names. Nicole, you look them up
Oh,
on
yeah,
your
I'll
phone.
look 'em
Okay,
up.
you ready?
I'll look them up because.
Yeah,
How old do you think Jax is?
32.
Ooh.
That is I'm gonna go ahead and say that's a bad guess.
You think he's older?
I think he's older than that. Nicole?
39.
Okay.
Wow.
She's had some work.
I'm not going to say Lisa Vanderpump because that's rude. Let's say Stassi.
Ageless.
How old do you think Stassi is?
She was the blonde with the long hair.
Long hair.
Longer hair, yeah.
34.
Are you just going to get 34 for everybody because they're just
No.
like...
I think
I
she's
said
younger
32
than
for the
I am,
last one.
but,
She's younger?
I think she is. I'm trying so hard.
All right, long shirt,
Long shirt.
Tom Schwartz.
He's in his late 20s. He's like 20.
You wear a long shirt, you better be in your late 20s or you
Sassie's 30.
better... Ooh,
Okay, I'm close.
yeah.
She looks great.
Yeah.
She does look good. If you're wearing a long
I mean, they
shirt,
all look good.
you
let's
better
be
be
serious.
in your 20s or born in the 20s. That's
Yeah.
my rule. All right, well, that's all I have for us. Thank you, Tyler. I'm gonna.
Tom Schwartz is 36.
That's okay.
That's shocking. He looks so good.
His shirt's too.
Before we go, I want to say thank you to Tyler, and
Yeah,
I want to
thanks for
say,
having me.
do you have anything specifically that you want to plug?
Yes, please.
This will be released probably in the next 2 weeks.
I could plug Eating It, which is a podcast that I have been dragging my feet on lately, but it's really interesting. It's comedians tell the time that they bombed the worst or the worst show that they were a part of.
Yes.
And I'll have new episodes coming out in the next month or so.
I'm on that podcast, but
Yep.
the best episodes, in my opinion, are Todd Barry and then
Jackie Cation.
Jackie Cashin is like a super good episode.
Cation.
So
Yep.
is it Cashin or Cashin? Whatever it is.
Yeah.
Tyler has
It is
really
better.
good guests, and he's actually one of my favorite comedians. So if you have a
Oh,
chance
thank
and you
you.
see him come to your town, or you see
Yeah.
him in the Midwest, definitely go see Tyler Menz.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. You can find
Thank
more
you.
about him. What's your Twitter handle?
J Tyler Menz on Twitter or Instagram.
All right.
It's the same all the way around. I'm brand loyal. Baby.
You're brand loyal. And then I'll bumper this with some stuff about where you can find us.
Hey, where can we find you,
Me, I'm at Keto Gooding Jr. on Twitter.
Nicole?
I don't have.
No Twitter.
I mean, I do, but it's.
It's secret. All right, see you next time.